Welcome to Write Now Workshop Podcast, where you can write a book and change the world. I'm your host, Kitty Bucholtz, and this is episode 219, Unity, an Encouraging Words episode coming to you on Sunday, November 1st, 2020. I'm recording this a little bit early because I was reading something that I thought that is really what we need right now. And in a couple of weeks, it might be really what we need even more. So this is not November 1st. This is actually the middle of October. But yesterday I was reading a passage in Ephesians in the Bible. And if you'll bear with me a little bit, if this isn't a book that you normally read, you'll see where I'm going with this on what we can do to help ourselves have a more peaceful and hopefully, because of that, productive writing life. And the Encouraging Words episodes are just a matter of helping us with our work-life balance to have more peace and joy and a sense of purpose, maybe. And the things that, in addition to the writing itself, are the intrinsic values that we find by being writers. So this happens to be just the first 3 verses of chapter 4 in Ephesians. I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. It's a good one, right? Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. And when I was reading that, I was like, oh, you know what? First of all, I already feel a great sense of that when I'm with other writers. One of the things I love most about my podcast is talking with writers from all over the world who write all sorts of different things, who are excited by or interested in different things from each other, lots of different things in general, but so many things that I feel like I can relate to. And if you're a regular listener, you're probably listening because you feel a sense of connection that all of us as writers and wordsmiths, there's these things that we just love talking about. We love talking about how we got started and about our ideas and about how we did the research and it came up with this thing that made this really cool story twist, or how we took some nonfiction and created some fiction out of it, or, sort of what I'm doing with my nonfiction is the opposite. I'm writing about things that will be of help to writers. So I'm kind of taking my fiction and making it nonfiction. But this is definitely one of those episodes where I just really felt strongly like if we can focus on at least some areas of our lives where we can find unity with the people that we're in this part of our lives with, then it'll help us all to feel like we have good friends that we can count on and trust, that we receive compassion and are giving compassion and empathy, and that it gives us those intrinsic values of hope and joy and peace that really make the writing life, and in fact, I think all kinds of life, all parts of life, feel so worthwhile. And, that's one of the things that it was saying here, like, do something worthy of what you've been called to do. We've been given this gift of writing. Let's write something that's worth the time that we put into it, that's worth the time that someone else will spend reading it. And mostly, let's try to continue, because I think we do a pretty good job of it. You see Twitter wars about some writer and then some other writer, and then they got in a fight, and then everybody sides with one or the other, and makes me a little crazy. And I try not to get involved and read about it and read any of the tweets, and because I don't want to be mad at other people. And sometimes you just get irritated when it seems like people are trying to pick a fight. So this is the opposite of that. This is me saying, let's try to find places of unity. And while this is a writing podcast, and so I'm really specifically talking about it with writing, really what other areas of our lives can we at least try to do our part in creating more unity? So at the time that this episode goes live, it'll be a very short period of time until the U.S. presidential election. And, who knows what's going to happen during the days that follow. But we can control mostly our reactions. I say mostly because we do have visceral reactions and we do have emotional reactions. But aside from letting that out for a moment and then coming back in and trying to like have some control, have some self-control, think about other people, their side, and this episode is also not about the presidential election, but in all the areas of our lives where we can create unity, at least as far as it is possible with us. There's another part in the Bible that says, be at peace with everyone, at least as far as it is possible with you. That's a total paraphrase. But it's basically, I think, a reminder that you can't control what the other person is going to do or say or feel or how they react. I can't tell you the number of times I've said to my husband, well, you're misunderstanding how I said that then. I was not saying it that way. I was not trying to pick a fight. And just in the last year, he started saying it back to me. And he'll be like, well, you misunderstood how I said it. That was not what I was trying to do. I was not trying to pick a fight. And I was like, okay, fair enough. If I get to say that to you, then you get to say that to me. And here we are, two people who really don't want to fight. So with all the things that we're already doing well, there's something about writers. We love sharing information with each other. For the most part, I think that very few of us really feel in competition with each other because there is so much space in the market for all of us. And no matter if we write what appears to be books just like each other that might sit right next to each other on the shelf, the fact is all those books are different enough from each other that we're all going to have a different fan base to some degree or another. And so there's no reason not to encourage each other, to love on each other, to share information and have that good feeling that you helped somebody with a question that they had, and somebody else will also be helping you with a question that you have. Another thing that I like to do at the website, share information. I want you to feel like every week you're getting something that's a good takeaway that you can go and work on in your writing this week. Even if it's just something to be thinking about or something to think about, yeah, I do that. How could I do it better? And so from a more relational side, this is the episode where I really want to encourage you. I know that you're already a kind and giving and compassionate and helpful person to the writers in your life. And I hope and believe that mostly you're probably getting that from the other writers in your life. And if not, there are some great groups on Facebook and other places online where you can be part of that kind of community. And I just want to encourage you. Let's continue to work on having unity in our community. That's a good one. Where can I use that? Unity in our community, because we are going to be able to continue to have more joy and more peace, more intrinsic values in the life that we lead and the work that we do. And I think it'll come out in our writing. I think it'll make us better writers. Certainly the kinds of writers who really emotionally touch our readers. And those are the kinds of books that end up generally having a lot more readers. So in the end, it's a win-win-win-win-win situation. I hope that this has been genuinely encouraging to you. I hope that you feel like you're in a place where you have this to give and you're willing to give it, and that you're also looking to see who's already giving it to you so that you can share and reciprocate, and so that you can feel the, I don't know how else to say it, just the peace that you have in all of the deepest parts of your mind and heart and body, honestly, like you just are more relaxed and less tense and less stressed. And there's so many good, healthy things about that. Also, I hope that that you're looking for places where you can find unity in our community of writers. There's a lot, way, way more fantastic people out there than ones who, and I'm not going to say they're not fantastic, but some people, they speak before they think. Some people are determined to say their piece no matter if it makes people mad. And I'm not judging that one way or the other. I am saying let's really work on the unity, because I think it'll help all of us to be better writers, and we'll be creating and giving to the world better products that You know how I like to say it, you never know. You could be one of the people who writes a book and changes the world, and that would be worth everything. I hope that you have a fantastic week and month. Be at peace. God bless you, and get some great writing done.